This is the fortress. It is perhaps the most popular area in Nightreign because there's plenty of items, plenty of loot, and tons of bosses to become as strong as possible and give you the best chance of winning the run. But what if we started there? Can you win a run where you're only allowed the items and levels that you can get in the fortress? Let's find out. I decided to start as the Executor, because I thought his deflex breaking posture and having a bleed weapon, as well as the longest lasting ultimate of any of the Nightfarers, would be a good way to guarantee that I could kill the first boss. This is really important because when you're talking about the fortress, there are no graces here, unless you can kill either the basement boss or the boss on the roof. Now, typically the boss on the roof is significantly harder than the basement boss, so of course I start in the basement. In the first run here, I thought that having some weapon passives and consumables would be worth the amount of time that it took me to go find them, and the fortress is filled with these items, so it was a very minimal time lost to go gather them. Unfortunately, I got nothing that was particularly helpful. I probably won't bother with this strategy a second time. Arriving at the boss, I realized things aren't going to be as easy as I thought. The biggest problem is that I get one shot in a single hit, so even though my sword has bleed on it, I have to play perfect to ever have a chance of proccing it. On top of that, the deflect is helpful for staying alive, but doesn't deal any damage. We actually get really lucky on this run and get a Leonin Misbegotten as our boss. This is the best possible luck that I could hope for. This boss has a very easy moveset to memorize, he's weak to bleed, he's weak to poison, he takes a ton of damage, and is easy to stagger. There is nothing that I could get that is better than this. That's why, despite this being my first attempt at doing this, I actually managed to take him down. If I don't manage to kill one of these bosses, I'm going to be doing this first night boss at level 1. Speaking of night bosses, what are the rules for those? Well, I figure that what I can do is that when it's time to leave the fortress, I'll go to the circle and fight the boss. I won't pick up anything on the way there, I won't hit any churches, I will go straight to the circle and just get ready to fight. Now, if I beat the boss, I won't pick up the ability that he drops, and I won't level up. I will go straight back to the fortress, and I will die, so that I lose any of the extra runes that I gained. I think that this is the only fair way to say that this is a true fortress-only run. And look at that. Right as I'm finishing this explanation, the Leonin dies, making this our first live run. I get a moon veil from his corpse, we manage to reach level 4 off of this one kill, and if you continue forward out of the basement, there's a treasure room, and inside of this chest is a talisman. In almost every good run, you'll be seeing me pick this up. Now, there's 3 different layouts that you can get to the fortress: Stormveil Knights, Trolls, and Crucible Knights. We got Stormveil, which means in the courtyard directly out here is an Elder Lion, and fighting him will drop me another treasure pickup. My goal from here on out is just to farm to the highest level that I can, and take on the boss as strong as we can be. In a normal run, I hate seeing the Stormveil Knights. It's very easy for them to combo you to death even with some levels on you. But since I'm only farming at the fortress, it's actually kind of nice. The Stormveil Knights have a ton of enemies, but unlike trolls, you aren't constantly getting firebombed until you take out the strongest ones there. This makes it pretty easy to farm your way up to a decent level, and then go fight the stronger ones, which are marked by their red eyes, when you feel ready. What I'm really getting at is this first run is looking extremely doable. We even get some extra time to farm because of some incredibly good luck with the circle. And with this extra time, I prove myself right. This Executor ult is incredibly good for farming, especially on what could be tougher encounters. We make it out at a decent level, but my greed costs me. I only have 1 heal to fight this boss. I also finally realized that I have to check what I'm actually fighting as my final boss. I'll be honest, I just didn't really think I'd get this far, but assuming that we can beat Night 2, we're going to be facing Augur. And to make matters worse, whenever you play solo, in every boss encounter, you get to resurrect 1 time for free. I use up my resurrection before the boss even spawns, because banished knights are just kinda hard, man. Here it is, as long as I beat Godric, we're making it to at least Night 2. Now, I'm sure a lot of people thought it was weird that Godric of all things came back, but honestly, he's one of my favorite fights in base Elden Ring. Look at how you can roll through all of his combos. On top of that, I just love his wind effects and also the wind powers in general. It's weird that they're not explored more, actually. Like, is there any lore for why these knights can just use the powers of the wind? I must have missed it if there is. But about Godric. He's the boss that teaches you that there are some moves that you're meant to jump. And because of that, his moves that you're supposed to jump are very obvious, and that makes it super fun to do. A lot of the time, I feel like whether or not a move is jumpable is just a guess, but not with him. He also works extremely well with the multiplayer battle system because he has so many attacks that kind of hit around him, but because he's an amalgamation of arms and body parts, it looks good. And the fact that they gave him a buffed up Phase 2, where he grows more Crucible-like appendages, is just really cool. I'm so happy that he made it to this game, and I'm excited every single time he pops up. I just kind of wish that he was a Night 2 boss so that he was a little bit harder. What I'm getting at is, despite only having one heal, we managed to win. And then it's right back to the fortress, where I die. And then I just have to make a point of never picking those runes up, and we're good. All that's left to do is to farm as much as I can, and die a few times in the process. I managed to sneak one final loot enemy in, and then the Sentient Pest raid starts. Almost got me. Heh. Luckily I managed to avoid the... For those who know what's going on, yeah, this sucked. For those who don't, the Sentient Pest can randomly appear in your expedition. It will cast this spell on you that makes a swarm of locusts appear. If you get stuck in this, they will drain a full level from you. Multiple, if you get hit multiple times. What you're supposed to do is follow the swarm of locusts to the location of the pest. Unfortunately, the pest did not spawn in the fortress, meaning I can't kill it. So I went from a respectable level 8 to a pretty sad level 7. That's rough. But, I mean, I've beaten Night 2 bosses with worse. Out of pure irritation, I bring this pest to about 1 health, and then I leave it alone, because I'm not gonna cheat. Final circle, and as long as whatever boss we get isn't too hard, I believe in us.
Watch this, Lise. You can actually pinpoint the second when his heart rips in half. And now.
Nothing to do but give it our best. I start out using my ultimate with the hope that I'll be able to get another one before the fight is done. Now the struggle with the Falling Star Beast is that unless you hit it in the head, it takes significantly reduced damage. And my ultimate is hitting it for 70s. I get some decent damage out of the ult overall, but it's not the best. I then have my first death because, as it turns out, we can't parry giant beams. Man, I wish we could. The next beam comes around and I've learned my lesson. Instead of trying to deflect this one, I miss input and run straight into it. That was a sad way for the first run to end, but it was also a very promising start to this challenge. I think we can do this. In fact, I think this might even be easy. It was not easy. I didn't know how good I had it, getting a Leonin Misbegotten in that cellar. Because oh boy, the second that I had to fight something actually hard at level 1. Man, is this a different experience. Even more than that, we got really lucky with the fact that the fortress stayed in the circle. Because I had a whole bunch of runs die because of that. Almost any cellar boss I could beat given 2 full nights of fighting. But when I don't even get one, and you can get spawned super far away from the fortress in the first place, ooh. I try to imagine a world where I can beat the Demihumans at level 1, but unfortunately we don't live in that world. Right back into it, maybe the next run goes better. But it doesn't. It can't even start, because this shifting earth gets rid of the fortress. Now, if you're wondering if I win this run, I don't know, the game crashed. But that did show me that my controller had kidnapped my microphone, so my live commentary wasn't working. A couple of off-camera runs and we're actually right back into it, now with live commentary. Then one quick attempt, it is unfortunately a red wolf, so I'm going to die like instantly. Okay. That went well. I mean, yay. Don't worry, it's not all live commentary from here, but you will get some funny highlights. Managing to take out the red wolf, we get our second run, which is actually going somewhere. We make it to level 4 by the time we need to face our first boss, the Duke's Dear Freya. Why did they add Dark Souls 2 bosses? They're the best fights in the game! I hate that I'm too bad of a player to win. I'm starting to feel like maybe Executor isn't the right character for this. Despite what I just said, I give it a few more shots. My next run as a Zamora warrior, who I barely don't manage to beat. Bro, can you be fucking with me any harder than you are? But maybe this is the world where I can beat the Demihumans at level 1. It looks like it's going pretty well, and then this happened. I was a little bit mad. No. Dude, that is so cheese. What the No. The next run ends before it even begins, but after the Darth Vader fiasco, we actually get another run going. I have what I have to call the single most frustrating experience that I have ever had with a grafted Scion in any game, ever. It's okay. I should have easily been level 5 or 6 coming out of this fortress. Can you stop? Instead, I only make it to level 3. Despite being underleveled and undergeared, I managed to take out the Tibia Mariner boss at level 3 and make it safely back to the fortress, where I accidentally proceed to break my rule by leveling up too many times. All I can even say in defense of this is that my muscle memory is to press triangle then mash X. So yeah, this run died a very sad death. But next we get some actually good luck again, with another Leonin Misbegotten. Oh, it's a Leonin, we're saved. Thanks to that, I managed to make it safely to the circle. We're level 7, we've got bleed, it's just a matter of, can we beat this Dragonkin soldier? Ah. Okay. It looks like it's going extremely well. And then while trying to jump over his arm, I get kinda stuck on collision, miss the riposte, and honestly I was just really tilted, so I went sprinting straight into death. I could have won this. At this point, I knew I needed to change my strategy, because unless I got lucky with the Leonin Misbegotten, these runs weren't even starting most of the time. And that's when I remembered the most overpowered item in the game, the bell. This hits crazy hard, has no scaling so you can use it even at level 1, and it still does good damage, better than my sword swings, and the FP cost to actually use it is extremely small. I also decided to switch to Wilder, because his passive lets him dodge one deadly blow, automatically. So even though I'm level 1, nothing can one-shot me. This lets me be a lot more reckless with my fighting, and you can see it pay off instantly. I take half of this Zamora warrior's health before I even lose my passive, allowing me to easily finish him off with the bell when I come back. We also got a rotted great axe, so I had rot. My fortress was trolls this time, which is usually very slow, but this rotted great axe with Hoarfrost Stomp was making short work of them. I actually think that this run had a good shot of, if not being a win, going all the way to a Night Lord. Unfortunately, what it didn't have was the ability to not crash on me. I tried to just hope that it would unfreeze, but it doesn't. You could see in the timeline how long I waited. At this point, because of 2 crashes and just various bad luck, I took a break. I also had real-life work to do. Coming back to it the next time, I used the collector signboard in order to spawn the mountaintop. Now, the reason for that isn't because I'm going to use the mountaintop. It's because this guarantees that on night 2, the fortress will be in the circle, so no more getting screwed by just some bad luck. I select all of the Night Lords, and we give our new strategy a proper shot. It starts off pretty rough. I get one of the worst spawns that I could have. So I'm already losing about a minute just running to the fortress. But once I get there, I realize I have once again been blessed with a Leonin Misbegotten. We have a couple of mistakes. Why am I healing? He one-shots me anyway. And some cope. Honestly, for the best, right? Because hear me out. Now I can cheat a lot of extra runes into existence here. I make sure to grab the gold tree outside before I kill it. It increases runes by 5%, which, hey, when I'm doing a challenge like this, every little bit helps. We also get a staff that has magic weapon on it. It's not incredible, but it is free damage. We once again have Stormveil Knights, and instantly I feel like Wilder is just the better character for this. He just looks so cool. I love this character. I get really lucky, and my first circle gives me a little gap where I can keep farming. This is another reason Stormveil Knights are good. No other spawn has relevant enemies where I'm farming them right now. That is some crazy good RNG. We finish this first night at level 8, and I decide to not use this merchant right outside of the fortress, because he felt too outside the fortress. But he did remind me of something, which we'll get to in a bit. I once again have to face the Tibia Mariner, and you guys won't have to sit through this boring fight for a third time. At level 8, we easily finish him off. We go back to the fortress, where I die to get rid of all the runes that I just got. I am back, and now I know for a fact I can grind the whole time. But first I have to die. Awesome job. Not even the crabs are safe. All we need to do is farm and get as strong as we can before the final night. Now, remember what I said earlier about how I didn't know whether or not I should count that merchant outside? Well, he reminded me, if you jump up to here, there's also a merchant inside, and this merchant is selling a Fire Zweihander, which is extremely good for me because our end boss of this run is Caligo, and I'm at the point where I'm actually thinking I should do some prep. I also buy a second Wending Grace, giving me 2 resurrections. I feel so strong, I even decide to go give a quick check to the rooftop boss. Hopefully this is something killable. We leave the fortress at level 10, which is going to be our level for the rest of this run. Now the only question is, can we beat the Night 2 boss, and even more than that, can we beat Caligo, the Frost Dragon? Now if this isn't the first time that you've watched one of my videos, you know that I adore Dark Souls 3, which makes it fitting that the Dancer is the boss that stands in our way. Aw, I was gonna say, it still works, but no, it didn't. Okay, I get it. I'll heal. I'm sorry. You're so cool. I'm so happy this thing's back. There it goes. And just like in Dark Souls 3, the Dancer really isn't that. Of course, we don't pick up its loot drop, because that's not Fortress only, and nor do we spend any time gearing up in the tree, it is straight to the boss. I also make the executive decision that I will not be using this 4th heal that I picked up from killing the Night 2 boss, so effectively, my flask number is 3. I see you aura farming over there. Do you start with Aurora that has a hitbox? Ow. Jeez, he's getting fucked up. Calico has two major attacks. For the first one here, it's simple. You just need to find and hide behind one of these giant rocks. Yeah, I played Monster Hunter. Ow. Okay. That saves me healing with the flask. Okay. We've now spent 2 out of 3 resurrections, and he's not even halfway dead. It forced me to do that flip, by the way. Stop it. Okay. No. Burn. Ow. Bro. This is so troll. Ow. Machine gun dragon. Okay, that was my last heal. I'm gonna mentally catalog that. Ow. Get out of here. Finally. End it. Dude, where's my damage? Come on. Hear me out. It would have been so cool, but I'm just not that good. No. Stop it. Burn! Come on, one more hit, man. One more hit. Get over here! Oh, that's how we do it. Dude, I want to see the Everdark version of him so badly. He's so cool. Literally. Well, that was Fortress Only. Pretty fun, honestly. If I'm gonna continue this idea, I think I would like to do, like, Crater only, Mountaintop only, Rotted Forest only. But I feel like those are a lot easier, so if the goal is to just win a run, I'm not really sure how much I'd get out of that. So if you would like to see that, I think what I'd do is I'd kind of make the video in the style of like, I dropped Crater only 20 times and here's what happened. Where I kind of go through like the things that I learn about the location, how I get a whole run going, and maybe jot out how many runs that I win. Obviously the style of video would have to be a little bit different. If I'm going to continue it, I think that's how I would do it. So yeah, if you want to see it, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know. And until next time, thanks for watching. See ya.
If that's not the way to